the oxygen kind of gets sucked out of you.
You know, when you don't win for all these years, you sort of you dismiss it as not being that important. But of course, when you win, it becomes very important. We had a great night.
A premiação foi especialmente boa para os criadores da série, que lutou para sobreviver no começo.
This show was so difficult to do just from a logistical point of view, keeping all the balls in the air that you had to do with the real-time thing, that we actually very seriously thought about changing the format.
I thought, okay, this will work for 6 episodes and probably go away as a noble failure.
Desde o início, 24 horas levou os espectadores para uma montanha-russa.
Just keep people addicted. It's like crack.
It's finding those little places where the audience is not ready for something and it happens and it catches them off guard.
You don't know what's around the curve. You don't know how steep a particular downfall is, and they know what to do with it.
I'm proud of the shows. I'm proud of the group effort. I'm proud of the fact that we came in to shoot the 6th season more nervous than we did the first.
Desde que a série foi lançada, Kiefer Sutherland passou 14 horas por dia e 10 meses por ano interpretando o agente federal Jack Bauer, o herói mais popular do horário nobre.
I realized that this was one of those lucky opportunities, and this was going to be 5, 6, 7 years of your life, and it was going to be a burn.
It's a tremendous amount of work. It's very trying, but he's a tough bastard.
He's as intense as Jack Bauer.
He's probably more involved than I've ever seen any actor in a television series.
He's doing it at a pace that, you know, you wonder how long you can go.
O futuro Jack Bauer fez sua primeira aparição em Londres em 21 de dezembro de 66. Seu pai era a estrela de cinema Donald Sutherland. Sua mãe, a atriz Shirley Douglas. Uma irmã gêmea, Rachel, nasceu 7 minutos depois. Donald não se conteve ao batizar o filho Kiefer William Frederick Dempsey George Ruffer Sutherland.
He included the name of his friend, the name of a grandfather, and you know what have you, different names that were valuable to Donald, including Kiefer, which was, I think, a writer friend of his.
Donald e Shirley se separaram quando os gêmeos se tornaram 4. Kiefer e Rachel mudaram-se para Toronto com a mãe. O famoso pai parecia estar a milhões de quilômetros.
We'd be driving down the freeway and there'd be a poster of my father, you know, but it was superfluous. It was on the outside. I grew up in Canada all my life.
Ainda assim, Kiefer permaneceu ligado ao trabalho da família.
I would watch all of my father's films when they would come out. My father is an amazing talent. The range and the variety of characters that he has played, I don't think have been matched by anybody. So I think I was always kind of frightened by that, but there was something that was always very attractive to me.
Em 82, o garoto de 15 anos tomou uma dura decisão. Ele deixou a escola para se tornar ator.
When I went into a meeting and people would say, you know, you're Donald Sutherland's son, tell him I said hello. And that would be the end of the meeting. That got frustrating after a while. But, you know, down the line, someone gave me a chance.
Kiefer ganhou o papel principal em um filme dramático chamado Quando Chega o Amor.
I've never been more excited in my life. I had a small apartment in Toronto. It was so small that when I found out I got the film, I had to go outside to jump up and down because I'd hit the ceiling. It wasn't even a one-bedroom. It was a room with an exposed toilet and a hot plate.
Na locação na Nova Escócia, o jovem sentiu pela primeira vez o gosto da fama.
I had my own hotel room. It was a Holiday Inn. It was the most exotic, fantastic place I'd ever been.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned exceedingly in thought, word, and deed. I confess to Almighty God and to you, Father. It's been 2 weeks since my last confession.
Quando Chega o Amor ganhou o Genie Award, o Oscar canadense pelo melhor filme de 84. Kiefer recebeu uma indicação para melhor ator. A partir daí, o jovem de 18 anos decidiu tentar a sorte em Hollywood. Ele rapidamente conseguiu uma participação no seriado de TV Amazing Stories, de Steven Spielberg.
Okay, Cap. We burned 1,700 gallons en route to primary target. We lost another 100 gallons when number 4 outboard disintegrated.
Once you get into a Spielberg movie, no matter how small a part it might be or just a part of one, you can use that as leverage in this town, and that's what he did.
No verão de 85, Kiefer começou a filmar o drama Conta Comigo para o diretor Rob Reiner.
I know I didn't mean to insult me. That's why I'm going to give him the opportunity of taking it back.
Então ele estrelou no filme sobre vampiros Os Garotos Perdidos. De repente, Kiefer Sutherland era um dos mais famosos protagonistas de Hollywood.
Sarah Jessica Parker, Robert Downey, Billy Zane, Tom O'Brien, all lived in this small area.
We had a brat pack in the 80s, and Ali Shee and Emilio Estevez. Kiefer wasn't exactly a member, but he often was mentioned alongside of them. It was a good time, You could drink with your friends, you could smoke with your friends, you can act with your friends.
At the time, we thought that was just what our lives were going to be. Upon reflection, a little too much, a little too fast.
Kiefer, de 20 anos, chamava atenção por namorar uma mulher mais velha, a atriz de 33 anos, Emilia Cat. Eles se casaram em setembro de 87. No ano seguinte, tiveram uma filha, Sarah Jude, em homenagem às amigas Sarah Jessica Parker e Jude Cole.
I remember him being really excited. It was just like, it was almost odd, like I didn't see any fear. And then later, I think he reflected on it and just went, oh my God, what am I doing? What's happening? I'm so young.
Sutherland se acostumou à paternidade, mas não ao casamento. Em 89, ele e Emilia terminaram. Kiefer se recuperou rápido. Naquele outono, ele começou a filmar o suspense médico Linha Mortal, com uma atriz em ascensão chamada Julia Roberts.
I think they just sort of became inseparable after that. Kiefer and I were living together at the time, and he came home with Julia, and she didn't leave. Such a sparkling and bubbly personality back then. She was getting known, but she wasn't a superstar yet.
She started getting, movies like Pretty Woman, and she starts becoming, who she is.
Para escapar da atenção da mídia, Julia e Kiefer foram para a casa de férias dele, em Whitefish, Montana.
He built a place outside on the south side of town, a ranch, and that was going to be for he and Julia, so that they could have a big spread and nobody could bother them.
Em maio de 91, Sutherland e Roberts anunciaram planos de se casar em junho.
It was kind of a tense ordeal, everybody in Hollywood was involved and invited, and it was a big thing.
When Julia and Kiefer were together, it was like Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. There was a fervor about it.
Mas 3 dias antes do casamento, eles o cancelaram.
Like kids do, they were overambitious. Maybe we've prepared too quick, made plans too quick, committed ourselves too far. I think it knocked him back a step. There was a moment there where he really could have explained himself in the press, and he just put his hands up. He goes, no, don't do that. Wouldn't do it.
A seguir, Você Não Conhece Jack.
I wasn't really sure if I wanted to do television.
Depois que seu romance com Julia Roberts terminou, Kiefer Sutherland saiu da lista dos preferidos. De repente, ele já não era mais o menino de ouro de Hollywood.
I remember what we call his blue period, where things weren't going so well, and he was doing sort of those films that you'd see on cable, late at night.
Yeah, I did actually. I was just tricking in the middle of trying to orchestrate a career and trying to make it go forward. It's amazing how backwards one can find themselves going.
Enquanto a vida profissional de Sutherland afundava, sua vida particular decolava. Em 96, Kiefer conheceu e se casou com a modelo canadense Kelly Wynn.
There's always been an immense bond between the two of them. She came from the same place he did, so I think in a lot of ways, not only did they fall in love, but I think there was a real brotherly, sisterly thing there too.
My life is very different. I have a family. I have a daughter. My wife has 2 sons. That seems to be the most predominant focus in my life right now.
Mas o casamento não deu certo. Depois de 3 anos, Kiefer e Kelly se separaram. O ator encontrou uma forma pouco usual de lidar com a separação.
I started roping it. I found it incredibly relaxing, and I managed to pick up, I guess, a skill, if you will.
He got fascinated by the idea of being a cowboy, really.
Era hora de fazer uma escolha.
It got to a point where he realized, I'm in my early 30s. Am I going to go this way and become a cowboy for life, or am I going to go back to, the challenge of acting?
Enquanto isso, em Los Angeles, os escritores de TV Joel Surnow e Robert Cochrane estavam desenvolvendo uma nova ideia.
I had the idea of doing a show in real time. I called Bob, and we sat down and tried to figure out what that would mean. We actually first started to think of doing this as a romantic comedy, believe it or not, like a day in the life, the day before a wedding.
A wedding, yeah.
It wasn't until we realized that it had to be a race against time, and stakes had to be high, and why is somebody up for 24 hours a day?
O resultado foi 24 Horas, um explosivo drama sobre um agente federal que precisa impedir o assassinato de um candidato à presidência e salvar sua filha sequestrada. Tudo em um dia.
The script came in and showed tremendous potential.
A seguir, eles precisavam de um protagonista que encarasse o papel do renegado herói Jack Bauer.
Richard Burgi read for Jack. He was one of Joel's choices for that. Carlos Bernard read for the role of Jack originally.
Os produtores não desistiram.
Somebody suggested to us, Kiefer Sutherland, and our first reaction was, he's a great actor, but he's young, he's a kid. We still have that Brat Pack image of him in our minds. And I said, well, who's going to believe that Kiefer Sutherland has a teenage daughter? Somebody said, Kiefer Sutherland does have a teenage daughter. And then that sort of made us reconsider.
Mas o ator quase recusou a oferta.
The funniest story that I've actually never told anybody was I wasn't really sure if I wanted to do television. And a very good friend of mine had read the script, and he said, well, if you're not sure, this is the pilot to do, because they'll pay you for the pilot, and this is so out there that probably won't get picked up. And I said, that's a great idea.
It was one of those things where he just kind of connected to this guy, this character.
Kiefer has, he's got a dark quality to him on screen, an edginess, and he's played a lot of villains. You take a guy like that, and he brings that same edginess to playing a hero, it's really cool.
I fell in love with his idea of a guy who was in charge of so much and responsible for the safety of so many, and yet he was tempered by the fact that his marriage was in trouble. His daughter was going through a very difficult time in her life, and so he was balancing these two entities, which I felt was very real.
He's just the type of guy that you believe if the weight of the world was on his shoulders, he'd pull it off. He'd be the guy to save us. So it really made a lot of sense, and once he was cast, we were on our way.
Really, I mean, I would have made a much better Jack. People like Jack now, but, they don't know what they're missing, all right? They gotta live with, down, get down now. I wouldn't have done that. I'd have been a much kinder, gentler Jack. I'm just saying.
Carlos Bernard ainda se esforçava para interpretar Andrew Geller, parceiro de Jack na UCT, Unidade contra Terrorismo.
He's a Jewish character, and I was like, okay. That's perfect for me. And he was just a real it was just completely against my casting.
A equipe de 24 Horas ficou tão impressionada com o teste de Bernard que eles reescreveram o trecho só para ele. Andrew Geller se tornou o durão Tony Almeida, para quem a filha de Jack e os diretores de elenco encontraram a novata de 17 anos, Elisha Cuthbert.
She was great on film, she really popped. Had this terrific look, nobody'd seen her, she was a fresh face.
And you believed that she was Kiefer's daughter?
Outra canadense se encaixou para o papel da corajosa esposa de Bauer, Terry.
I literally went in with a scene and had the job off of a scene. I hadn't read the script. I didn't know anything about it until I was actually in wardrobe going, do you think maybe I could see what we're doing here, guys?
O papel do candidato à presidência, David Palmer, precisava de alguém que se garantisse.
Dennis did not have the role, from the first minute. We did test other guys. We tested about 4 or 5 other men. But I think once he got in that room after other people had read, he had his physical presence, his stature. He's tall and dignified, and he has that voice.
And that voice is just amazing.
I just imagined the kind of politician I would have to be in order to be a senator.
Penny Johnson Jarrett era praticamente certa para a ambiciosa esposa do senador Palmer, Sherry.
When I read the script, it was nice to see African Americans and a positive role model, and I heard that Dennis Haysbert was shooting it, and I went, oh yeah, I want to do this.
Just thought she would be a great match for Dennis, but that she would be able to bring some other juice to it. They had the idea that she might be this conniving, backstabbing,
Macbeth, Lady Macbeth character.
Lady Mac.
O episódio piloto de 24 horas foi produzido no início de 2001, mas um papel crucial ainda precisava ser preenchido, o da agente da UCT Nina Myers. Inúmeras atrizes se inscreveram para o teste, incluindo Sarah Clark.
She went in and read at the studio, and we did warn everybody that was reading for the role that day, you know, if you get this, you realize you're going to be driven in a car and go to the set and shoot the scene.
Clark desbancou todas.
Literally, Bob and I took her in our car from Fox to the set to wardrobe.
A seguir, uma surpresa em 24 horas.
Large portions of the audience were enraged by that.
O episódio piloto de 24 horas começou a ser filmado em março de 2001. A equipe e o elenco reforçaram os detalhes até o último instante.
We start shooting the first scene, and I remember Kiefer walking in, and Kiefer has to call me Tonio, and he's like, "Hey, Tony, what's Tonio? I can't call him Tonio." And thank God for Kiefer, because he called me Tony and not Tonio. Tonio is the name of a character you kill.
O primeiro episódio acontece no período de 1 hora, em tempo real. Trazer o conceito à vida foi um desafio para todos os envolvidos.
I would say there must have been 15, 20 pages of phone calls in the pilot. And it just seemed boring to just cut back and forth on a phone call. And once the idea broke out from the phone calls to split the screen, then it opened up a whole host of other ideas. For instance, we open each act on split screens and identify where every character is in that time. Then you had the time, the time code underneath. To kind of place everybody and keep a context of the show, the style kind of grew out of that.
O formato inusitado fez de 24 horas uma aposta para a emissora.
Fox was really on the fence about picking it up. They felt like we all did. We didn't know how to really extend this and how it would play over any long period of time.
I have no idea if people are going to commit to a television show like you're going to need to commit to this show.
It obviously was a high-risk concept. And I remember watching the pilot and calling Dana and saying, I really kind of liked it. And she said, it's great.
A Fox encomendou mais 12 episódios e no verão de 2001 a primeira temporada de 24 horas começou a ser produzida. O elenco teve de correr.
One thing they learned, obviously, all the actors in short order, was what I wear on the first day of filming is what I'm going to wear on the last day. So I think a couple of the actors in the first season realized they'd made terrible mistakes.
Alicia Cuthbert had nail polish on when she did the pilot. So for the whole season, she had to wear the same color nail polish every day. So she was quite tired of that.
O pessoal da UCT também precisou se esforçar com os diálogos.
These, satellite modulating, eon fluxing, kryptonic, hyperbole, Aramaic jargon. I don't know. I just try to memorize it all.
Kiefer had a lot of it, and he just spoke more than the rest of us. I used to love to sort of mess with his mind a little bit right before the take started, just to see if I could put the wrong word in his head. And mess him up.
Então, em 11 de setembro de 2001, os bons tempos chegaram ao fim.
We were on set when 9/11 happened, on 24. And, the original opening of the show was a plane crash. And we were on set, and everyone was sure at that point, well, we're done. We're gone. They're not gonna air us.
24 horas foi agendado para estrear no mês seguinte.
We were concerned whether or not it just would feel too real and too raw.
Os produtores tomaram algumas providências.
We had a plane blow up in the pilot, so we lost that shot.
We just tried to be sensitive about it.
24 horas finalmente estreou em 6 de novembro.
The reviews were pretty extraordinary. I think the critic community embraced this show as you would expect. I mean, again, it was so innovative, felt completely fresh.
De repente, Kiefer Sutherland era o assunto da cidade novamente.
People, once it hit, said, it's a resurgence, that he's come back from the dead, that, it's his second coming, and that, look, isn't it terrific? Suddenly, he has found the right material and the right character.
Em janeiro de 2002, Sutherland ganhou o Globo de Ouro como melhor ator de série dramática.
I was just so happy being invited to the party. I can't believe this. I'm in shock. To my family, without their support, I certainly wouldn't be standing here. And my friends, you know who you are. I love you very much. Thanks very, very much.
O sucesso de Kiefer incentivou a Fox a pedir os 11 episódios restantes.
Got picked up, and I said, what are we going to do?
The truth is, we'd run out of story. It was like you're driving at 75 miles an hour down a highway and you realize there's no more highway left.
Os escritores se atrapalharam para definir o restante da temporada, pois produzir um único episódio de 24 horas era massacrante.
So you're 3 weeks to write a script, say. Then you start prepping a script.
That's like putting a movie together in 3 weeks. In those 3 weeks, we gotta, fix the script, make any changes we have to, cast, do all the casting for new characters, find all the locations, which takes a lot of time.
And you shoot it all day long, usually 14 to 16-hour days. And you never leave that set.
There is a lot of stress. For me, I tend to just put my head down and kind of keep trying to push through it.
Apesar da pressão, o elenco tinha tempo para o romance. As co-estrelas Xander Berkeley e Sarah Clark se conheceram no episódio piloto e se apaixonaram. Manter a relação sob os holofotes não era uma opção.
I went up to Xander. I said, hey, what'd you do this summer? He goes, well, I went to Portugal. I was like, wow, really? That's cool. Who'd you go with? He was like, a friend. And I'm talking with Sarah, and I go, what'd you do? She goes, I went to Portugal. I'm like, everybody's going to Portugal this year. What's going on?
They actually announced their engagement on the set. We had a cake with them.
Terrific. So yeah, we do a little matchmaking on the side in the casting office.
De volta ao trabalho, Clark teve outra surpresa.
We said, oh, there's a mole at CTU. We didn't know who it was going to be. So we're sitting in the room, we thought, who is it that we know for sure cannot be the mole? Well, Nina. She's in love with Jack. She's helped him from the start. Okay.
And then we already suspected her and cleared her.
Yeah. So it can't be her, therefore it has to be her.
I just looked at them like, could that possibly track? Is it going to make sense? And they were like, enough sense, certainly. And it was an incredible twist.
Mas o maior choque foi Nina assassinar Terry, a esposa de Jack, a sangue frio. Nem todos achavam que seria uma boa ideia.
Just felt as if it would be such a sad and brutal twist at the end of the series. And so there was definitely some debate about it.
I was brokenhearted. Leslie Hope was one of my favorite actors ever to work with. And I also wasn't sure that an audience was going to want to stay with you for 24 episodes and see her die and see him fail. And Joel Surnow was really steadfast with his belief that this was what was going to serve the story the best. I disagreed with him at the time, and I'll be the first to tell you I was wrong.
That made a statement to the audience that this is not a feel-good show. Jack Bauer is a tragic character who pays a tremendous price for doing the work he does.
Oh my God.
A 24ª hora de 24 horas foi ao ar em 21 de maio de 2002. A cena final deixou os fãs entorpecidos.
Large portions of the audience were enraged by that. Hate you for doing that, da-da-da, but wow, did it make it the best show ever.
I think it's really a testament to what Kiefer did in his reaction to the death of this character, that they felt so much compassion for him. And to this day, it's one of the great acting experiences that I've ever had, was working with him on that show.
24 horas conquistou a crítica e atraiu todo um furor que a seguia. Porém, o futuro da série estava em jeopardy.
The initial ratings were not stellar. And, of course, that was cause for concern.
The network felt they couldn't repeat the show. The studio believed the show probably wouldn't be able to syndicate because of how serialized it was.
And even we said, can we do it again? No way.
A seguir, treino de tiro na UCT.
When they killed Terry Bauer, all bets were off.
Os primeiros 24 episódios de 24 horas impressionaram os críticos, mas a audiência era baixa. Porém, os executivos da Fox não estavam prontos para desistir. Para atrair novos fãs, decidiram lançar a primeira temporada em DVD o quanto antes.
We felt if we could get that DVD out before the start of the second season, it would give people a chance who had heard about the show to come and become viewers and be ready for the fall.
O plano funcionou. Quando a segunda temporada estreou em outubro de 2002, 13 milhões e meio de espectadores ficaram sintonizados para ver 24 horas recomeçar com uma bomba.
There's a nuclear device under terrorist control. It's on U.S. soil.
Oh my God.
Where?
Los Angeles.
O público adorou o recém-eleito presidente Palmer.
First African American president on primetime television ever. There's a responsibility that comes with that. And just as long as I can maintain the integrity and dignity of this character, I'll be a pretty happy camper.
24 horas virou os estereótipos de cabeça para baixo, mesmo se tratando dos terroristas.
We ended up casting Laura, this sweet young thing, and she ended up being this hideous terrorist, homegrown sleeper cell girl.
Os escritores também tinham uma surpresa para Tony Almeida, um romance no trabalho. Raquel Wellsworth se juntou ao elenco como agente da UCT Michelle Dessler.
He was so great to work with. I got on set and met him, and first starts right in with the teasing. I know when he does the interview, he's gonna put on some oh, Reiko, she's a diva. I hated her working with her.
Reiko, she has this thing. She blinks a lot, twitches. She's got a twitch, a nervous twitch, mainly when she gets around me.
Enquanto isso, o presidente Palmer desviava das punhaladas de sua amarga ex-esposa.
I never played her evil. It manifested itself in that. It's so strange when guest stars would come on the show that they would approach me like I could take out a knife and stab them at any time.
Ninguém estava em segurança no set de 24 horas. Todo o elenco vivia em constante medo de ser assassinado pelos escritores.
In year one, when they killed Terry Bauer, all bets were off.
I kept going and going to the director saying, okay, how are you gonna kill me? Because I know you're gonna kill me. But I don't want to go out like a punk.
Sky, who's a little girl in year two, the very first day, and she comes running up and she said, John, you're the director, you must know. How am I gonna die? And I said to her, Sky, you're 7 years old. You're this cute little 7-year-old girl. I don't think we're gonna kill you. And she said, no, this is 24. Everyone dies on 24.
Mas sempre havia novos rostos esperando para ocupar as vagas. Marilyn Rice Cubby fez sua estreia como Quirk Chloe O'Brien na terceira temporada.
I think she was hard to swallow, a hard pill to swallow at first. People didn't want to like her, but then they have to.
Na verdade, as pessoas não se cansavam do programa.
There was a game that was started at some colleges. They would have a beer or a drink. I said, damn it. One scene, I went, damn it. Damn it. Damn it. And I did 3 in a row, and you could hear the glasses clicking across the country. And then I never did it again because I think someone said, I don't think that was very responsible. I was just trying to be funny.
A Fox faturou com a onda de popularidade do programa no jogo 24 horas para PlayStation.
Agent We're used to pressure, heavy fire. We need you to neutralize those snipers.
Chloe is in the video game. I don't know about the way she looks. I mean, you're supposed to round up, not round down. I do think they got it right with the pachinko game that's in Japan, though, because Chloe's got a rack, and it is awesome. That's what I'm talking about. Round up.
I know I've got friends out there that can't wait to buy the game just to kill me all day long.
Porém, o apelo de 24 horas não foi só baseado em diversão ou jogos. A série mostra uma forma drástica de lidar com as ansiedades pós-11 de setembro nos Estados Unidos.
I know when I was doing the scenes in the hotel where a virus breaks out, that wasn't too long after the whole anthrax scare. It felt like it was tapping into something very real.
Our villains became real villains. We're all living in a fearful world. Terrorism is front and center in our thoughts, and we can't veer away from that.
A terceira temporada atingiu o número mais alto de vítimas. Entre elas estava a diva que os fãs amavam odiar.
There's not too much you can do when you get shot or stabbed or anything, except I decided I would continue to breathe So that way I could give them the option to bring her back.
Sherry Palmer entrou para a lista. Roger Cross e Kim Raver estrearam como os agentes antiterrorismo Kurt Manning e Audrey Rames. Jack não podia reclamar.
Beginning of season 4, with the new love with Kim Raver's character, Audrey, he was at the height. He was the most positive and the happiest. I think he smiled in the first episode. Never done that before.
Louis Lombardi estava pronto para a ação como analista de sistemas Edgar Stiles.
I'm like, wow, you know, I'm going to be chasing Jack Bauer with a gun. I'm going to be like beating someone up with a pike. Cuts to him in the office getting yelled at by Mary Lynn all day. And I'm thinking, wow, this is a different choice.
24 Horas também ganhou um novo horário. Os executivos da emissora decidiram lançar a temporada em uma estreia de 2 noites, 4 horas em janeiro.
I'm very excited that Fox is doing this. We're going to air all our episodes contiguously. It helps the nature of our show and its continuity.
A mudança deixou os produtores com um novo desafio. Como não deixar as informações vazarem até a data de exibição?
It gets very difficult for us actually to really keep the secrets. The internet has been our worst enemy. It's probably been our best friend and our worst enemy at the same time.
We number our scripts toward the end of the season where every script is accounted for and they're not let out of the tight loop of distribution.
Kiefer Sutherland também tentava manter segredo. Em 2004, ele fazia dupla jornada como estrela e coprodutor executivo.
I don't know how he handles it. It's a lot of work. And he also is very conscious of what the show's done for him.
This is what I want to do. There's a schedule that is very tight, and if you run into any kind of creative problems that take time to figure out and discuss and work out, the pressure on you becomes very intense.
Kiefer is not Jack Bauer. Kiefer can be laid back. He can smoke his cigarettes. He can drink his scotch, and he can be comfortable, and not have to be on all the time. He takes off his shirt, and does lap dances with friends.
Em julho de 2004, Kiefer pôs à prova sua imagem de durão na Nova Zelândia. Mas quando se tratava de 24 horas, Kiefer era apenas trabalho. Porém, conforme o programa seguia, seu personagem de TV, Jack Bauer, começou a mostrar sinais de desgaste.
This character has sacrificed everything, even his wife, for his country. When he crosses his own moral boundaries, when he tortures someone, a little bit of your humanity is gone. And I think Kiefer's really done a great job at showing his humanity being chipped away.
Finalmente, em 23 de maio de 2005, a saga infindável de Jack Bauer parecia chegar ao fim. A seguir, limpando a casa.
They were like, we have good news and bad news. The good news is everyone loves your character. Now we have to kill you.
Em 15 de janeiro de 2006, a 5ª temporada de 24 Horas explodiu nos lares em todo o país. Os espectadores foram avisados para não perder os primeiros 10 minutos.
There's 4 people that know you're alive. 3 of them are down. Jack, I'm the only one left. This has to be about you. It's the only thing the 4 of us have in common.
They called up and they said, we want to do this thing where we kill off like all the major characters, besides Jack.
Honestly, I thought at first they were making a big mistake. I mean, I thought that Dennis was the heart of the show.
I said no at first. I said there's no way I was going to put this on screen. It was the first African-American president on national television in a 3-dimensional role, and they chose to, kill him to start a season. And I understand why they did it, but I think it leaves a bad taste in the mouth of the people of this country.
On a personal level, it's really hard. And every season we seem to lose actors that I really, really like.
And I was like, well, I want to go out. I want to have a good ending.
A matança não parou por aí.
The producers came up to me and they were like, we have good news and bad news. The good news is everyone loves your character. And the bad news is now we have to kill you. Chloe.
Os fãs ficaram indignados quando Edgar morreu asfixiado e os produtores ouviram de tudo.
They're getting hate mail and death threats, and they were getting vicious stuff, the writers. They were like, Louis, you know, we didn't think it would be this bad.
Chloe and Edgar really had a good thing going. It was sad when he died. You know, we're in CTU, and you're just like, why? He didn't do anything to anybody.
No episódio seguinte, Tony Almeida caiu morto.
After 5 years, I was like, you know, I was the last one left besides Jack, right? So it's time to...
O massacre abriu espaço para gente nova. James Morrison estreou como chefe da UCT Bill Buchanan.
It was like a train was moving, you know, 100 miles an hour, and I had to step on board. I got briefed on the way over.
Jane Atkinson comandou como a diretora de Segurança Nacional Karen Reeves.
I would liken her to Condoleezza Rice. I feel that she's walking a line that I feel many people in Washington need to walk.
E os fãs de Chloe tiveram um choque quando Carlo Rota apareceu como Morris O'Brien, o ex-marido que ninguém conhecia.
He is head over heels in love with his ex-wife. And let me tell you, that's not a difficult thing to do when you're, you know, on this set and your ex-wife is Marilyn.
Os índices de audiência de 24 horas estavam nas nuvens. Em abril de 2006, Sutherland se propôs a mais 2 anos como produtor executivo e estrela. Seu contrato de $30 milhões fez dele o ator mais bem pago de uma série dramática.
He really has desired an outlet for his creativity for a while now, and he was passionate about getting involved as a producer in development, and we were thrilled to extend our relationship with him.
4 meses depois, 24 Horas foi premiado com 5 Emmys, incluindo Melhor Diretor, Melhor Ator e Melhor Série Dramática.
It's a collaborative effort, and I've been very fortunate to have an amazing cast year after year.
After 5 years of being nominated and 4 losing, we had to check to make sure they really said it.
You go there every day, you do the best job that you can do, and then to be recognized, it's a great night.
Para Kiefer, a noite do Emmy foi um assunto de família.
What a nice evening this has been for us. My father's sitting right over there. Hi. We're gonna have dinner now.
Kiefer Sutherland percorreu um longo caminho como diretor e como homem. Mas após 20 anos sob os holofotes, ele não perdeu de vista suas prioridades.
The most difficult thing for me, I think, is my daughter has gone through so many changes over the last 5 years. When I started the show, she was turning 13. And now she's off in college in a different city.
Enquanto isso, 24 Horas não mostrava sinais de cansaço. Os recém-chegados Peter McNichol, Regina King e Marisol Nichols entraram correndo para a 6ª temporada.
Coming into CTU and seeing the set and how huge it is and how amazing it is, and there's a little like giddiness that comes with it that's like, yes, okay, I'm an actor, I'm very professional. There's Jack Bauer, and I'm like, there's Kiefer. You know, like...
Bebê Woodside seguiu os passos do irmão rumo à Casa Branca.
Wayne's having some problems. I think he is, I think he probably starts as someone who's in over his head.
E um rosto familiar da primeira temporada retornou ao UCT após uma ausência de 5 anos.
When they approached me about season 6, I went, well, what can you guys possibly do now? How can you top last season?
In season 6, Chloe is... something happens, I can't explain what it is, and she rips off her clothes, and she's in a bikini. And somehow that's able to help this terrorist plot be dismantled. You have to watch to find out how. It's intense.
I'll probably get in trouble for this, but Jack, went to China, right? Well, he comes back, and he speaks Chinese. So the first 3 episodes are about Bill Buchanan learning how to speak Chinese. But people are going to be riveted by that, I think.
Enquanto a continuação de 24 Horas ainda precisa de ajustes, há um livro chamado 24 Horas por Trás das Câmeras, escrito pelo diretor John Cassar. Um filme da série também pode estar a caminho.
You know, we always really have to tend the garden, make sure the show's good, and then if the movie happens, it'll be because season 6 was successful.
The movie will be probably Afghanistan, London, Washington, D.C. That's our thinking right now.
Nesse meio tempo, Kiefer, a equipe e o elenco de 24 Horas continuam fazendo o impossível, criar uma série inovadora e eletrizante sem um final em vista.
Every year becomes kind of, to me, a miracle, a high wire act.
A lot of people on the show, I think it is what it is because they haven't let go yet. They haven't gone, you know what, we're a television show. This scene will do. That shot will do. That performance will do. We're just nowhere near that yet.
There's something so bonding about that, about when you know you're working on something that everybody cares deeply about.
They bring you right in as family as soon as you're there, whether you're there an episode, 5 years, or a year. You know, and I'm impressed with that whole vibe they create on that set.
I'm proud of the fact that after 6 years, it matters more to us to make this work, to pay the debt off that we have to our audience. Whether we're successful in it or not, that is up to an audience to decide. But it will not be for a lack of commitment or effort on our part. And I am so proud of the people that I'm working with for that.